White phosphorus, invisible enemy. How white phosphorus is destroying Cambodia's land. Lives and souls. In war, some weapons kill with a sound, while some are silent, like white phosphorus, WP, leaving behind lasting scars and slow devastation. According to the WHO, WP is a chemical substance that ignites in contact with air, producing intense heat and thick toxic smoke. Exposure to WP can cause severe burns, respiratory damage, and contamination of soil and water, posing serious risks to human health and the environment. Its recent use during the Cambodia-Thailand border conflict goes beyond human harm. It scorches the land, forests, streams, soil, and all living things that thrive. Heng Ratana, Director General of the Cambodian Mine Action Center, CMAC, was the first to raise the alarm after a 155mm artillery shell containing white phosphorus was found in Cambodia's Ottermenchi province, providing physical evidence that the chemical had landed inside Cambodian territory. Following the report, the Royal Thai Army later admitted to the use of white phosphorus during the July border clashes, claiming it was deployed for illumination and smoke cover rather than as a weapon. Yet regardless of intent, the consequences remain. Cambodia's people and ecosystems are facing the aftermath of a weapon that continues to harm long after it falls. The silent death of Cambodia's ecosystems. Diverse wildlife and vital water sources that nourish communities, irrigate rice paddies, and sustain all living things. However, after the introduction of WP in these regions, the consequences have been undeniably disastrous. The forests of Cambodia, in the presence of white phosphorus, can ignite trees and bushes, sparking uncontrolled wildfires that destroy decades of growth within hours. Even if fires do not spread, the remnants of phosphorus can seep into the soil, disturbing root systems, changing soil chemistry and making once productive land barren. The streams and rivers near the border are at risk of poisoning. When WP enters water bodies, it releases toxins that can kill underwater biodiversity, including fish, other aquatic creatures, and plants. Over time, this contamination can lead to the extinction of vulnerable species and the degradation of water quality, threatening the health of entire aquatic ecosystems. What pollutes our water today can enter the human body tomorrow, posing long-term risks to both wildlife and communities for generations to come. As people who love nature deeply, we understand that plants, just like humans, need clean air, fresh water, stable temperatures, and safe soil to thrive. Coming in contact with WP pollutes all these elements. The air becomes toxic. The soil is burned or chemically imbalanced. The water becomes undrinkable. The entire ecosystem will be disrupted, even with minimal exposure to WP. Animals on the ground are no exception to this tragic fate either. They can experience lethal burns, poisoning, and loss of habitat. Due to fires or contamination, and entire food chains begin to collapse. What appears as a temporary military tactic can trigger long-term ecological collapse. Human and future consequences. The human cost of WP exposure is undeniably severe. The WHO states that WP can cause deep tissue burns, respiratory failure, and long-term organ damage through skin contact, inhalation, or ingestion. But perhaps even more devastating are the future consequences. It can reignite when exposed to air, making it uniquely dangerous to both civilians and medics. Children may grow up with compromised health. Families forced off poisoned land may never return. The trauma, both physical and emotional, can last for lifetimes. Rebuilding a village is impossible. When the air is toxic, the soil is poisoned and the water harms instead of heals. Chemical residues can stay in soil and water for years, threatening agriculture, food security, and public health. Ecosystems could take decades to recover, if they recover at all. Strategy versus cruelty, a moral choice. Yes, in war, strategy matters. Using tactics and deception to win battles have long been tools of survival and victory. But being clever in war doesn't mean being cruel. When tactics harm more than soldiers, burning trees, poisoning rivers, and turning farmland into wasteland, it stops being strategic and becomes brutal. Weapons like WP used in populated or fragile areas cross into moral failure. They don't just fight enemies, they destroy futures. And in doing so, they violate not just international law but the will of God. who gave us the earth not to conquer, but to care for. Conclusion: what we destroy destroys us. In war, what we destroy today shapes what we have tomorrow. Cambodia's borderlands, forests, rivers, and soil are not accidental casualties. They are the result of choices. Whether Thailand's use of white phosphorus was legal is irrelevant. The real question is, was it right? Nature isn't a backdrop. It's the foundation of life. Once damaged, it may be beyond repair. The invisible enemy is not just smoking in the air, it's the silent damage left behind, burning slowly through the future of a land and its people. Sokheng and Che Virak are Cambo Corps, volunteers at the Documentation Center of Cambodia, DC Cam. The views and opinions expressed are their own.